Okay, so Micah, do you want to unmute and chat while you have internet? If it's working?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, we just want this to be your space, 30 minutes to ask any questions. Like, we've got a week left from our original diamond goal date, right? A week out. So where are you at? What are your roadblocks? What's standing in your way? What's holding you back? We want you to have a space to really talk those things out and be solution oriented. I don't want to hear that you don't have time to do the shiz. Like, if you don't have time to do the shiz, then your dreams just don't matter to you. Okay. So you guys have to be like, okay, this is my goal. This is why. And this is what's standing in my way. I'm doing A, B, and C, but I'm running into this wall. Now let's work through that. We can work through that. We can't make you do anything. We can't make you show up for your business. We can't make you have a morning routine. We can't make you prioritize this, but we can absolutely give you tangible feedback around when you're doing the things, what's standing in your way, and how to help you through it. Okay. So
she froze. This is what happens. She just freezes sometimes. And always when your internet freezes, it's never in a really great, you're never just sitting there smiling prettily at the screen ever, ever, ever. So we do want to have this space open for you. And, it was interesting as you dive in and start sharing. I had asked in my team page earlier this week to share as we go, especially as we go into Team Cup, to share some of the sort of blocks that my coaches have in their head around, like, what are you saying to yourself, or what are you hearing in your head as you start to build this business? And y'all, the stuff that you hear in your head, that we all hear in our head, if someone said that out loud to you, you would be really upset with that person. And if you said that out loud to someone else, they would be really upset with you. And this is the dialogue that's going on in our head. So first and foremost, it has to change. I'm not saying that that's easy. I'm saying it's an ongoing part of the human condition. That's called being a human being. Okay. So you're never going to get it right perfectly tomorrow, whatever. But if we don't that was one of the reasons why I asked them to kind of get it out and put it out on paper. Because when you write it and you see it, you'd never say that to someone. You'd never say it to your child ever. So why are you saying it to yourself? And it was really impactful for me to read some of the stuff. And it would be the same if I shared what happens. We all have it with the stuff that's happening in our head. So we either live there or we kind of share it and get it out in the open, and then figure out, okay, as Micah said, how are we going to be solution oriented? How are we going to tell that little voice that we all hear to go, that's cute and all, but you're not coming along for this ride today. So please go, just sit back down. That's the key to making progress in the business. So maybe in the next little bit, why don't you share with us kind of what's going on, what's holding you back, or where you're making progress right now, and let us hash it out with you. Ready, set, go.
Do you want us to unmute, Julie?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I have a question, and I just a couple, the last few days, something that I feel like is going well. I just had a baby 3 weeks ago, and I am just showing up a little bit every day in the best ways that I can. And I'm not allowing that to discourage me in the moments when I can't do all the things that I want to do. And the thing that, the roadblock that I'm hitting right now is I really want to start engaging with my collections, but I don't know when to start inviting for my collections. So right now I have a January collection of people that I've connected with through January, and I'm starting February. And I'm wondering, do I connect with January during February and invite from January, and then that's the rotation? Or am I connecting with January during January and inviting in January? Does that question make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And number one, Audrey, congratulations on your baby. And number two, y'all, this is exactly what we're talking about. This is a tangible question that we can work through, being solution oriented, not like, I just don't know what's going on. No, she has a very tangible question that Micah, the expert on collections, if you have Wi-Fi, maybe you want to take this one, but this is what we're talking about.
okay, let me try and get this in. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
So there's no black and white, right or wrong. You have to figure out what works for you.
Okay.
Period. So if I have certain 15th of the month, I start adding to the next collection.
Okay.
15th of January, I'm adding February collection because I'm spending January connecting in January and inviting in January to my February group.
Okay.
But that's because I have that cutoff. Everyone that I added from January 15th to February 15th are being connected with for a full 2 to 4 weeks before they're getting invited.
Right.
That's what works with my brain. But no, just remember, you guys, no right or wrong. Like whatever you want to do, decide, be consistent with it, stick to it, and go.
Okay, that's the thing that makes more sense to me. And then the other thing that I was going to ask is gone. It left. Okay, thank you.
Well, if it comes back up, ask. I think it's so common though, Audrey. I think a lot of us are there because we want to systemize everything, which I totally get. And I'm right there with you. But I just think there are some things you have to just, like Micah was saying, like you have to just work the system that you're creating and learn as you go and see what works for you. Because like she said, there just is no one way to do it. But the other thing is cool too. It's like, as you start to implement these disciplines in your business, like for example, a personal discipline of mine is to lock in Success Club by mid-month. By the 10th or the 15th is like my threshold. So when you start to implement those kind of personal business thresholds, then it's kind of like no pressure because I've already hit my personal business goal of Success Club. So whatever I do the second half of the month is freed up to just be friends with people and connect in whatever way feels the most authentic to me. Will I still be bringing in Success Club points the second half of the month? Yes, I will. But there's not this big pressure of like, am I doing this right? You know what I mean? And you can kind of just give yourself the room to work the system that you're creating and learn from it and see how it works for you. But I agree with Micah. It's like, that's kind of how I would, start, like implement that sort of thing. And then, make changes as you need. I think it's a good question.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course.
I have a question. Sorry to interrupt. Okay, is it on me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, so my question is converting. Like my inviting is going super good. My invite, I feel like, is just solid. People are responding to it very well. And I get a lot of people that are like, yeah, I would love some more information. And then I send it to them. They're like, yeah, this looks great. And then nothing. So I'm following up and I'm still just getting like those crickets. So just I don't know what I should continue. Like, what did we say? Like 3 follow-ups and then that's it, or sorry, crying baby. But anyways, that's my question.
Okay.
Is just getting the conversion from the yes to following through.
Okay. So sorry, I'm just trying to connect the dots here. So the conversation is going well. They're saying yes, but then there's a little lull between their yes and then actually enrolling.
Yes.
Is that the vibe? Okay. So I'll share my thoughts and maybe somebody else can share too, but I have always felt like that's unavoidable because there are some people that just will flake or forget or life comes up. But what has helped me with that is just having an actual start deadline and like really being clear about expectations and urgency from the get-go. So for example, like I've always operated my business, and I know some people do it differently and do it differently well, but for me, I've always started a new challenge group the first Monday of every month. And so for me, that really lends to my urgency because I want them in there for our prep weekend. And so it really helps me to like, with my follow-ups and my reminders, like, hey girl, I know you said yes. But I haven't seen I don't think you've, completed your enrollment yet. I really want to make sure you're in the group by Friday so that we can get you, organized and meal prepped and all that. And so I'm like more pointed with my follow-up. Like, I know you said yes. I haven't seen you finish your enrollment yet. I want you in the group by Friday so that you get this, this, and this before we start on Monday. Or you can do a whole week of prep or whatever works for you. But for me these days, I usually just do a weekend. So that's what I do. It's just urgency around the start date and just being very pointed in the follow-up of like, hey girl, I know you said yes. Hope you're doing okay. I haven't seen your enrollment come through yet. So I want to make sure, one, you got the email, because that's the thing. Sometimes I don't actually get the email. That actually just happened to me 2 days ago. So I want to make sure you got the email. And I want to make sure you get in the group by Friday so that you've got all the prep info and you're ready to go for Monday. That's what I say.
Okay, so when they say yes, I send them like information on like what it is. And then they're like, yeah, this is cool. And then I send them like a Google Doc form for them to fill out. So I know what like Shakeology to get them, if they want the performance line, that kind of stuff. But then maybe my Google form is just a little bit too overwhelming. They just don't want to fill it out. And maybe I could just ask them one solid questions.
100%. 100%, Jesse. That's exactly what I would change and see how it goes. You know, It might just be too many steps, which I personally love and respect your system, especially you're obviously a busy mom. And so that allows you to stay unplugged and still help people. But maybe these people aren't quite ready for that flow yet. And so maybe while you have them, you just need to say, okay, like what flavor of Shakeology are you ready for? You know, like just get them right when the conversation is there instead of giving them an additional step, because I'm assuming they might be in the exact same season of life as you. And one additional form is like, I'll do it after bath time. I'll do it tomorrow. And then it's like, I forgot about it, you know? So
true. Yeah.
And,
that is
give them that like 1 or 2 sentences of what you need from them. And then you send them the share cart, you know? So I totally get the form though. And I think that's still good and to keep working at it, to keep that, you know, like working into your business system, but you might be losing them with that additional step for right now. I don't know if anybody else has thoughts on that, but
I 100% agree with that. 100%. And sometimes when people don't respond right away, which is normal human people, we're all busy. Sometimes I just assume, oh, you probably like chocolate, and I'm just going to create you a share card with chocolate in it. And here's your link. And if you want another flavor, you know, like rather than just let it hang out there, I'll just create it. I'm like, most everybody likes chocolate. That's what you're getting. And then they can flip it whenever they want. But I do believe, and I also like, I'm not in a season with little baby ones, and I don't like to fill out a bunch of forms. So I think forms are awesome for like coach stuff, because if you can't fill out a form to apply to be a coach, you're probably not going to build a business. But if you're just trying to figure out how to move your body a little bit and maybe drink a shake, a Google form is like, wait, dude, I just want to move my body and drink a shake. What's going on? And if you just take that out and go, how about chocolate? Does that sound good? Yep. Cool. Here's your share cart. Go. And then add on as you go. They'll be like, cool. I just have to click this one link. Bob Iger says, I keep it right here on my desk here. Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, says you can do a lot for the morale of people just by taking the guesswork out of their day-to-day life. You can do a lot for the morale of people by taking the guesswork out of their day-to-day life. So in any way you can take guesswork out of other people's lives, you win.
And I will ditto everything that both Brittany and Julie said. Just like when we critiqued your invites a couple weeks ago, there's a good chance what you're saying is too much. Like, just like the Google form, like you've got to simplify it. Like your first message to them, if Brittany's like, hey, I would love to learn more info. If it's a novel long and you're like, you're going to get meal prep containers, you're going to get Shakeology, you're going to get X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you're losing them in that first message because it's too long. You need to cut it short and sweet. It's a 30-day boot camp. You're going to get all of the tools, all the resources you need. You're going to get a package set up with me. Are you ready? Like so short and sweet. So they're like, yes. And then I don't send them a long novel of what they're getting. It's here's your graphic of your packages. What package do you want? So they can visually see it. So unless they do like a swipe up, because I know a lot of us leaders have a swipe up feature, they'll fill out the Google form there. But if someone just reaches out to me or if I've invited them, I will just send them the picture of the package. I'm like, here's your package options. What one do you want? Because then it's not like this novel of information. Now, another thing that will help too with like follow-up, Jesse, like, or if any of you are losing them and you're not getting a response, I have discovered that even though email is my preference, it's not other people's preferences sometimes when you're in that first ongoing relationship. So I know for me, and I did this today with my follow-ups, I had 20 girls who are interested in the coaching opportunity. I've sent them emails. I haven't heard back from them. So I got on video and I went to their number one platform of where I originally invited them. So that was Instagram. And I'm like, okay, Brittany, I know you were interested. I've sent you the videos. You're stalling. What are you worried about? Like I address that they're stalling. I address that maybe there's an issue. Like, okay, are you worried about the price? Are you worried about time? Like, how can we, chit chat this out? and I get on their level where we first connected, and I face them on a video message, and I know that if they're stalling, there's usually an issue. Usually there's a problem. Oh, I don't want to spend that much money. Oh, you know what? Maybe I don't have time. Or, you know, maybe they're just really busy and they, you know, talk about that. So I would say go back to their main point of contact. If you're losing them in that second or third message of conversation, if you are emailing them, and then also don't be afraid to say, hey, what's up? What are you concerned about? Like, you were really excited before. How can we work through this and get you started with us next week? And again, I do love the urgency. All of you should have coupon codes from Team Cup. All of you should have coupon codes. You know what you should be saying? Hey girl, I have one $10 off coupon code left. Let's get you signed up. And then on the 14th, if you use all of your coupon codes, they get reloaded. So all of you should be using your codes for that FOMO and that urgency, like Brittany said.
That's so good. Good reminder.
Thing really quick. Jesse, because you said they're saying yes. So that's the part where, like, what are they saying yes to? And just like they were saying, if you're using an info page and they're saying yes to it, absolutely do not then send them to your Google form. Like, the Google form is to streamline the process so that if they haven't gotten the info and are going to fill out a goal form all in one place, wham, bam, that's awesome. But if they've already said yes, know the information for sure. It's okay. Let's get your pack. What flavor do you want? Let's get you started. What's your email? Period. So like, I think there's just too many hoops to jump through right now. So just look at your process, simplify it, go follow up with a video, and get those girls rocking.
And Jesse, sorry, I know we're like killing this, but when you come up with whatever your message is to these people, whatever tweak you're going to make, just save it in your notes. So that way, when you get the yes from people, you just go to your notes, copy and paste it, and send it right there. You know, it's just there, or a shortcut in your phone if you're tech savvy or whatever. I never figured those out, but that way it's there. I know we don't have much time left. So I did want to bring up Emerald development though, because a lot of times that like slide into Diamond sometimes is waiting on Emerald development or strategizing how you continue to build Emerald. So does anybody have thoughts, questions, wins in that area that you wanted to share before we hop off? Oh, 10 minutes. Okay, good. Oh yeah, we started at 12:15. That's right. I keep forgetting the 15. So who has developed Emerald? Let's start there. Has anybody helped some coaches? Liz, would you mind sharing? If you could, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but.
No, you're good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So my developed Emeralds are two people that are family and that I can control. And one of my family members, she has two of her family members under her. So we've worked together to really stabilize and to make sure that it is two solid emeralds going together. And I think also, sorry, I don't know if you can hear everybody. It's okay. And then the other family member are two really good friends underneath that know the goal, know that we want to stay strong with Diamond and moving forward. I don't know. Does that help answer or help provide?
That's awesome. I think that's great. I think that's a really great, perspective. That's kind of what I did too. Like when I helped, when I was building to Diamond, for me, it was really important to help as many of my family members start using Shakeology as possible. And so my mom and my husband's mom went under my husband, and that's what held his Emerald for 6 years, or whatever it was, or his Diamond. But so I think that's such a strong, great strategy. And I love that you've included them in the goal and that they're aware of that. Yes. This is important to you. I think that's awesome. I think a lot of people shy away from that because I don't know why exactly, but I think that's really great that you've sort of shared that. Does anybody have any questions about that, or thoughts, or obstacles, or done something differently?
Brittany, I have an unrelated question.
Yeah.
When you said, I just started in October as a coach, and when you said that you start a new challenge group every month, I'm like, okay, so does she have 1 billion challenge groups?
No,
or is it
no,
just
they
that
end.
you change it, or I don't know, how do you? What do you mean when
Yeah,
you
so-
start a new challenge group?
Yeah, so that's okay. So I open up a brand new challenge group the first of basically like the beginning of every month. So, and it lasts the calendar month. So for me, I open and close a new group every single month.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
the ones from January that are still on their journey or doing 9-week control freak with me, they come over to February. As long as they're continuing their nutritional product and their program, they just hop into the next one. I've done trial. I think everyone should do trial and error and figure out what works for them as they're independently running their groups. Like I've done long groups, I've done short groups, I've done program specific groups, and I've just found for me personally and the market that I typically attract, a hard start and a hard stop is really helpful for me and for my people. So that's what I typically do. There's some exceptions to the rule, like on the holidays, I'll do a group that lasts 3 months long. So we're not starting and stopping during the holidays, but for the most part, that's what I do.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I chime in that sec? Because I've done it both ways and I see the value of both. So forever I did 21-day groups to have a 21-day boot camp every single month with a hard stop and a hard end. And what I found was it was great to have the hard start, but then I was losing all my freaking people when I was trying to get them into the next group. Like they were not getting into the next group and then they'd fall off and I'd forget about them. And so for my brain, I was like, okay, I need the hard stop and the hard finish to like course correct to the next, to like promote the next start date. But I'm using online, like virtual community forever gym. So many different ways, but I totally agree that the hard start and the hard stop like is important for us to push out in our language, to have that follow-up urgency, to say, I'm starting my next round of girls in our virtual gym. We start this day, we're prepping for the weekend, but that can be done in a new group or an ongoing group. So just play with it, figure out what you need to do, and then roll with it. But I love that literally in this business, you guys, there is no one way. And you'll hear me say that a million times. You'll hear national wake up calls where you're like, oh my gosh, that's exactly opposite of what my coach teaches. Like, just take what you need, pull what you like, forget what you don't. So it's always just taking the nuggets that you need personally to move your business forward and then kind of like putting it in your back pocket and being like, that's nice to know, but I don't need to implement that right now. You know what I mean? So just some feedback on that too, just with everything that you'll ever get taught.
Can you guys just all give yourselves a round of applause? Because look at the babies on this call right now. Look what you're doing. Look what you're showing your children right now. You think that they don't know because they're babies? They know because you're different and you're better. I mean, you should just be patting yourself on the back because you're just like rock star warrior moms building this amazing business that's going to build an even more amazing life for you. And you're doing it with your children right in front of you. It's the coolest ever. I don't know that I've ever been on one of these smaller calls with so many kids. Micah's little girl, you had one in there just a minute ago, like Liz's are right next to her. It's awesome. So you should be really proud of yourselves.
Okay, I wanted to say something really quick until somebody else chimes in. I know we only have a couple minutes left. So we are hypothetically in the home stretch of our goal, right? So 7 days until a week from today is when y'all are going to wake up diamond, reclaim diamond, stronger diamond, whatever it looks like for you. So if you haven't already, starting today, if you need strength in emeralds, which basically all of us do, like even if you are, like Liz has great diamond or great emeralds already set up, but the goal is to be even more solid with additional emeralds, right? So of course, sponsoring new coaches, getting those people plugged in, using your promo codes like Ali reminded you, but also taking a second today to make sure that you've had a conversation with the people that are emerald interested or emerald potentials, whether it's family members that want to support you or people who want to build a business. So hopefully you have a couple people that are business interested, but you might not yet. And I want you to know that in the beginning stages, that is very common and normal. It won't always be that way, but it's very normal to not have that many business interested people in your original diamond organization. So you got to work with what you got, but you also have to continue to bring on new people, talk business, share the opportunity with people. But what I really want you to do today, if you haven't already, is just look at your organization and look at the people who are potential emeralds and have a conversation with them. If you've got one person that's like, yeah, I do want to become an emerald coach. Okay. Hopefully they're on a Team Cup team and they've got some promo codes, and you can have that conversation with them and say, okay, Doug Moss is one of the corporate mentors that all of us work with. And he teaches something so important. And he talks a lot about, where you spend your time. There's like where you're placing in your organization. And then there's the people that you've pointed out in your organization that get a little bit more of your time. And so these are the people that get more of your time this week. People that are potential emeralds. These are the people that get your private messages or a one-on-one call with you to strategize. That is where your time is going outside of your personal business recruiting. When it comes to team focus, these are the people that get your time, the people that want emerald, because you can very easily work one-on-one with somebody today and tomorrow and develop a plan for them to become emerald, and then before you know it, they're already locked in for emerald. So put your time and energy to the people that are business oriented or at least interested, and see if you can develop an emerald plan with them. So just be aware of that. Look at your organization and see who that is, and remember that person or those people get your time more than anybody else this week.
I'm going to add on to that because I love that what Brittany said. And I had this conversation with some of my leaders last night because they're working on developing emeralds for like Star Diamond. And one of your jobs, and even though all of you are rising leaders becoming Diamond, you almost have to switch your perspective of like your people that you're onboarding on a client level. So just like Brittany said, look at your drill down and say, okay, who is someone that potentially wants to build this business? We'll also look at those discount coaches who are crushing it in your challenge group. And this is where you can reach out to them. And I could reach out to Brittany and be like, Brittany, you are killing it in our 9-week group. Your transformation is amazing. You're 3 weeks in. How about we share your transformation to inspire some other ladies? Let's do that. I'll help you craft the post. I'll help you make the graphic. I really think that you have the ability to help so many mamas in this journey, just like you. What do you feel about that? Or maybe someone shares a really great meal prep picture in your challenge group. Reach out to them, be like, girlfriend, your meal prep picture was beautiful. Let's share that on your social and inspire some other babes to do the same thing with you. That has really helped me convert clients to coaches organically without instilling the sphere of like, oh my gosh, I have to coach and build a team. It lets them see that their story inspires others. And one of my, top leaders came from that. She had an amazing meal prep picture in her challenge group. And I said, will you go share that on your Facebook, please? I'm like, that is such a beautiful meal prep picture. She posted it, had over 50 likes. I then messaged her and I said, okay, here is the message you're going to send to all of the people that liked and commented on it. And guess what? She helped 3 people in one day off of that meal prep picture. And she had no desire to build a business. And now she's one of my top leaders. So look at your clients, especially this last 7 days, and say, who is a rock star client and who can I help develop as a coach organically without putting that pressure of becoming a coach on them? And I guarantee you that all of you have at least one of them that you could focus on today. And it goes right with Brittany says, as Doug says, focus on where you need growth. Yes, focus on those business builders, but focus on those rock star clients who you could help cast belief. And I love what Micah said this. Micah's quote, I say it all the time, is we give hope and we develop humans. You not only develop coaches, but you develop rock star clients into coaches. So look at them as well. And that's all I got to say because it's 12:46. Anyone else? If not, it's peace out. You have 7 days.
I just want to encourage you guys to use the thread like more than ever, use it for encouragement and for that hype, and know that you guys are in it together and we're in the thread. If y'all are quiet, we're quiet. But if you guys chime in, we'll chime in. So you guys set the pace and make the most of this last week.
And in the words of Brittany Leggett, I have 2 quotes from Micah and Brittany. In the words of Brittany Leggett, she said this on one of the Diamond trainings. It's not about just doing your 5 invites. It's about doing whatever you need to do to reach your goal. So figure out the math and get it done. 7 days. 7 days.
We'll do one more call next week. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Go get to work.
Excited to celebrate, you guys. Have a good one. Bye.